And I am the District Attorney for the County of Riverside. I'd like to announce today that the District Attorney's Office this morning has filed criminal charges against Christopher Jordan Dorner. We have filed the first charge of the murder of Officer Michael Crain, and there are two separate special circumstance allegations that go with that murder charge, one being that a police officer in the performance of his duties was murdered, as well as the second special circumstance allegation that Mr. Dorner intentionally discharged a firearm from his motor vehicle. There are three additional counts that have been filed against this individual, all alleging the attempted murder of a police officer. And we are not at this point in time naming those other officers. Two of them are the Los Angeles Police Department officers who were shot at in the city of Corona in our county, and then the surviving officer from the Riverside Police Department. So those are the three additional counts for a total of 4 separate charges. I'd like to identify the persons who are on stage with me this afternoon. To my left, we have Captain Tom Weeks, who is here on behalf of the Corona Police Department. Jose Perez, who is a Deputy Chief with the LA Police Department. Sergio Diaz, the Riverside Police Department Chief, and Michael Moriarty, who's a Chief of my Bureau of Investigation. Along with the filing of the criminal complaint this morning, we also have obtained a no-bail arrest warrant for this individual's apprehension. This individual, by both his words and conduct, has made it very clear to all of us that every law enforcement officer in Southern California is in danger of being shot or killed. Every day, our law enforcement officers patrol our communities to protect us as citizens, to keep us safe. Now, it is our opportunity as citizens to assist our law enforcement officers in the apprehension of this individual. As they say, there is strength in numbers. We need the help of the public. We need all of the public's eyes and ears in assisting law enforcement in apprehending this very dangerous individual. A centralized command center has been established to support law enforcement's ongoing efforts to apprehend this individual. There are also numerous tip lines that have been established so that the public can contact law enforcement both in Los Angeles, Orange County, and in Riverside County. And as most of you know, there has been a $1 million reward established for the arrest and apprehension and conviction of Mr. Dorner to assist us in bringing him to justice. I would like to recognize all of the law enforcement agencies that are working together cooperatively in this continuing investigation. Obviously, the Riverside Police Department, the Los Angeles Police Department, the Irvine Police Department, the Corona Police Department, the San Mateo Sheriff's Department, Riverside Sheriff's Department, the FBI, and the U.S. Marshals Service. All of them are working together in the attempt to apprehend and take Mr. Dorner into custody and bring him to justice. These agencies are working 24 hours a day, nonstop, in this endeavor, and they will continue to work 24 hours a day until this person is successfully arrested, apprehended, and brought to justice. I will answer any questions that you might have at this point in time.
What evidence do you have that Christopher Dorner was the one involved in the murder?
At this point in time, I'm not inclined or in a position where I'm going to go into the specific facts or circumstance or evidence that we have. It's an ongoing investigation, and I don't want to compromise that at this point.
You can at least say, was his truck seen and was he seen in the area there at the time of the shooting?
Yes.
There have been reports that some of the police agencies are using drones or might be using drones to search for him. Can somebody comment, maybe the gentleman from the LAPD comment on that? We're trying to nail that down. That drones are being, that drone or drones are being used in the search.
LAPD doesn't have any drones, so I'm not sure where that might
What
be
about
coming.
any of the other agencies? I know it's a multi-agency effort. Are you aware of anybody using any drones in the search?
No, I am not.
Yes.
Could Chief Diaz come up and talk a little bit more about Officer Crain?
Absolutely.
We shared with the media, starting yesterday, the identity of Michael Crain, and as you, I believe, all the assembled press here know, we were withholding that as a caution because this individual that we are seeking has been known to go after families of the people with whom he has grudges and such. We are going to bury Michael on Wednesday, and so it wasn't appropriate anymore to withhold that. Mike was an 11-year veteran of the Riverside Police Department. He was a 34-year-old man, a family man. I believe these things have been shared with you. He had a 10-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter. He was married. Mike was also a veteran of the United States Army and served two tours abroad in a war zone, and was highly decorated in that service. More personally and closer to our department, his friends tell us, and I unfortunately didn't have the privilege of knowing Michael well, but his friends tell us how much they admired him both as a human being and as a police officer. He was a member of our collateral SWAT team, which is kind of an elite position. His safety skills, his tactics were very strong, which makes us, I don't know if ironic is the right word, but it's notable that it's remarkable that he was ambushed in such a way that he never had the opportunity to use those skills. He was just sitting at a traffic light on routine patrol. So again, he was very, very well loved by his colleagues and on the police department. He was a good man. There's no question about that, and we will sorely miss him, and we recognize that the void that he leaves in the department is nothing compared to the void that he leaves for his family.
Chief, can you share with us the condition of the officer who was being trained that day and what that training was, what entailed on that day?
The training was simply field training. Our officers, officers who are new to our department, go out and learn our procedures in our city, and they do their, as it were, the advanced field training in the company of a senior person who's been designated as a field training officer. It was as simple as that. They were working patrol, and it was on-the-job training essentially. That officer, without getting into too much confidential medical information, I feel comfortable in telling you because he told me that it was okay to share. He's in a lot of pain. He's going to be facing probably many surgeries in the coming weeks and months. He is comfortable. He's been comforted by visits of family and friends in the extended police family. But at this point, we've told even our own officers that for the time being, he needs to be left alone to regain his strength in preparation for surgeries. We don't know whether he'll be able to come back to active duty. We certainly hope so, but it's too early, I believe, in the process to say. If there's any way at all that he can come back, obviously we look forward to that very much. We welcome his return to the ranks.
I think the level of vigilance will continue. I am very concerned about the safety of law enforcement officers and their families throughout Southern California. But I'm also confident that given all the resources that are being expended in his apprehension, that we will bring him to justice. Absolutely. Today, not only am I announcing the charges, but I'm asking the public to assist in identifying where he is and notifying law enforcement. Well, we felt the state of the evidence dictated that there was no reason to withhold filing charges. He's a felon at large, and we felt that this way we could actually obtain an arrest warrant that can be effected anywhere in the United States. We can also put him into the FBI UFAB system, so wherever he goes, he can be arrested and brought back to this jurisdiction for prosecution.
Give you latitude to do anything else as far as search warrants or any more investigative tools at your disposal by charging them now, filing charges now?
Not in that regard. We've been utilizing those tools throughout this investigation.
Have you found any reason why he and his partner were targeted, other than the fact they're simply wearing police uniforms?
Not at this point in time.
Seems completely random, right?
Well, I don't know that it's completely random. Certainly because they were law enforcement, they were targeted.
With the search in Big Bear waning and tips coming up all over, where do you start? Where do you look for him to find him, and where does this investigation go?
Well, there are constant leads being provided to law enforcement throughout Southern California, and we're following up each and every one of those, and I'm not going to comment any further on that.
And there's no previous connection between Dorner and either one of the officers from Riverside that were in that trouble?
I can answer that. No, there was, yes. The question is about any previous connection between Dorner and the officers that were ambushed in Riverside. There was none. We've explored that. There was no such connection. My best guess is that, Dorner pulled off the freeway on Magnolia in Corona, and he continued northbound on Magnolia en route to wherever he was going to be, and I believe that these were the first, this was the first marked unit that he observed. So I believe it was part of his attempt to get away, but I reiterate, at the time that the officers were ambushed, there's no evidence that they had any inkling even that this suspect from this assault on the LAPD officers in Corona had occurred. So there is no connection. We have found no connection that I'm aware of to the city of Riverside or any part of this region. We believe he was passing through.
Can you talk a little bit about the officers that way? They just started their shift?
I'll tell you what I can. These two officers had started their shift at 10 the prior night. They would have received the information that was put out really for briefings throughout our region, throughout Southern California. On Wednesday night is when the information about Dorner and the suspicion that he was involved with the Irvine murders, that was shared with officers, including the description and the photograph of Dorner and the vehicle.
What steps has the department taken since then? Are you having doubled up patrols?
We've done a number of deployment things, including you will have seen the double up of patrols, some other safety things, and we talked about this earlier. We've got some dispatch modifications so that we're sending officers to calls of a high priority, and the citizens of Riverside are being served as normally, with the exception that some of the very lowest priority calls we're holding on to. We, in an attempt to have the maximum number of officers available at all times. And of course, our entire detective division has been devoted to this. We have people at the various information centers working around the clock on following up clues.
There's been a lot of attention paid to the name in this manifesto, but based on this case, it would appear he's targeting anyone with a badge. Is that safe to say?
It would appear that way, and yes, and I believe the manifesto, as it's come to be termed, talks about certainly at least LAPD officers being fair game on and off duty. And it appears that he's expanded that to any police officer.
Is there, we all know that the search up in the Big Bear area has been basically dialed down somewhat as far as the number of personnel. Is there any shred of credible evidence that Warner's no longer on the mountain or could be somewhere else? Could it be you guys heard about someone getting a phone call or anything that is credible?
There are a lot of rumors swirling, and I know that because many of you contact me to check out the rumors. But there is no hard information either way to indicate whether the Dorner might be still up on the mountain or not.
Are there any other aliases that could be going by?
I haven't heard of any. Yes, sir. Oh,
Your chief that big point last week, trained PD, and so he has a training, not just in weapons, but in tactics, skills. Well, that's the question I asked before. It's been 6 days now, it hasn't been a credible insider. Are you concerned that you can be going underground to get skills to do that? Is the effect still in control? And that one of the other concerned that he still is in control and can continue to form it as long as he likes to still do that.
Okay, that was several questions in one. I'll respond with this. As the chief has said, he was trained by us, and we're pulling out all the stops. We have unified command with several partner agencies, and we're looking for him. Our goal is to apprehend him as soon as possible so we can bring a safe resolution to this for all the law enforcement throughout the state and also for the community. So long as he's out there, we have to look at him as a danger, not just to law enforcement, but to all first responders and to the community. So what we're looking for, and as the DA has stated, is we need the community's help in this. There's a lot more of you than there is us, and that's going to be a key. And as in all these cases, it's always one bit of information that comes in. Somebody thinks it's innocuous, but it could actually build on something. So we're concerned to the point that, we're looking for them. We want to bring them in as soon as possible so we can bring a resolution to this for everybody.
Yeah, but you like us, you like the media, have to make long-range plans too. You have guards now and the people who don't high-value targets. At what point?
Well, that'll be something that we will continuously assess. The chief is obviously our leader on this, and we will make an assessment, as we do with any investigation, any long-range protection piece. We will take a look at it, see what the evidence dictates, and what our best guess is, best case scenario, and then we'll move accordingly.
Deputy Chief, do you know when exactly he posted this manifesto on Facebook? When did you discover, when was it posted and when did the police discover it?
I'm not sure on the date and time when it was discovered, so I'd hate to answer inaccurately.
Before or after those items were found in National City that were found that he disposed of in National City?
I believe it was after, but like I say, I don't want to give you any specific answer on that. I couldn't. Okay, I can't answer your question. I don't know.
Are there police officers being protected in the Riverside area or the Inland Empire?
There could be.
Do you believe or have any information at this point that Christopher Dorner is getting any help from anyone at this point?
Don't really want to go into that deep piece of a question, but it's something that we would explore, but it's not anything that we would tell you either way.
Are you looking for any additional suspects in this case?
Right now, we're looking for Christopher Dorner.
Do you have any indication he might be out of state, or do you have any, some contingencies in place for other states in case he's like, California?
I personally don't know if he has, but like I say, where we're chasing him and all the clues that we're getting are things that we're looking at, but not anything that we're going to speculate on right now.
Is there any indication that he has any help?
I think it was a repeat of the question up front, so I'm sorry. At that point, what I said was, if we did have that information, it would not be any information that we would share with you at this time.
Do you think reopening the disciplinary action that was taken, taking a fresh look at that, will that kind of, if he's still around, will that tone things down? Do you think that'll kind of satiate him somewhat, as to not being so violent?
Well, I think the chief's comments on that were that he was taking a look at it so the community would feel safe that we are a transparent organization and that we'll look at the case to see. As in any scenario, any crime or discipline action, we always try to take a look at something for lessons learned and just to recalibrate that. But I think the chief's comments on that were on point, and I don't really have anything else to add to that.
Do you believe he's still alive?
Don't have any information to the contrary, so I will assume yes.
And lastly, do you know what he was doing in Riverside County? Do you have an idea why he was here? Do you think he was going to one of the houses that was being protected by LAPD? Was he heading for the mountains? Do you guys have an idea of what he was doing?
Not really sure what his intention was.
It's a disturbing view of the men and women on the job and on social networks. There appear to be a number of people who unbelievably are expressing support for Christopher Dorner, sort of cheering him on. I mean, we've seen in other cases in Aurora with James Holmes. Is it disturbing to you guys?
I think it should be disturbing to society as a general. It's just disturbing to us. What is fortunate is there are people that, that's a small minority of people that have, that type of sentiment against us, first responders or government in itself. So.
All right, a couple more questions.
Can you speak again about the issue of what kinds of additional avenues opens up for you in terms of the investigation? I know that my colleagues asked that question, but could you say that again and perhaps elaborate a little bit?
Well, now that we have a no bail warrant out for his arrest, that allows him to be apprehended anywhere within California, out of state, out of the country. So that assists law enforcement universally to have that complaint filed against him and to have that warrant in the justice system. I'd also like to indicate that with me on the stand this afternoon is Rusty Bailey, the city of Mayor, who is also here to show support for this investigation.
Can you talk about the potential legal impact of having two special circumstance allegations? Obviously, one makes him eligible for the death penalty. Is there anything strategically valuable about having two?
Well, we normally and customarily file charges and allegations based upon the evidence, and in this case, it's quite clear that an officer was murdered during the course and scope of his employment as a police officer, plus that Mr. Dorner shot his firearm from his vehicle, both of which are characterized as separate special circumstances, and that's why we filed both of them.
Upon his arrest, would he be prosecuted in Riverside, say, before Irvine?
That determination or decision has not been decided as of yet.
Can you talk about the evidence as far as the shooting in Riverside? Was there any video evidence from security cameras or anything that where you can have a positive ID where you see his face and you know it's him, or have a positive ID on his license tag or anything like that?
I'm not going to comment on that. All right. We all thank you very much, and that concludes this press conference. Thank you.